Stacked walls. Stacked walls is a type of the walls where you go to your walls. You can see here you have basic walls, curtain walls, and stacked walls. Stacked wall is basically two basic walls stacked on top of each other, or like there can be more of two of them. And let's use this one, which is here. If I go to my section view and change this to medium, you can see that it looks something like this. So this is the type of the wall, which is stacked wall. If I go to my edit type, you can see that I have only a structure here. If I hit edit, you can see that this wall is created from two types of wall, which is the exterior brick on metal stud and the exterior block on metal stud. What you can see here is that I have this one type of wall and this other type of wall. And here I have a height. Let's put this to 1000. And here for the height I have variable. This is trying to tell me that this one will be 1000 all the time. And this one will be variable based on the height of the wall inside of my project. So let's say that my wall will be 3000 millimeters high. This one will be 3000 minus 1000, so 2000 millimeters. If it will be 2000 millimeters, this will be 2000 minus 1000, so it will be 1000. So you can see that this is all for my stacked wall. The next thing you can notice, if I go to my 3D view and if I select this, you can see that for my instance parameters there is not much parameters and most of them are actually grayed out. So you can see that there is actually no comment or mark or anything. So what this is telling me is that it is really hard for me, like to somehow be able to mark this wall, to be able to schedule it. And this is because actually you are not able to schedule stacked walls. You can only schedule the constituent basic walls which are making the stacked wall. So if I go to my schedule quantities, to my walls, and I will go for my family and type. I will put this by the family and type. You can see that I was able to schedule the basic walls, but there is no like stacked wall. So what this is doing actually is that it will schedule the separate walls which are creating my stacked wall. So I can select them if I hit my tab. Now I am selecting the basic wall, which is part of the stacked wall. And you can see that here for the instance parameters, now because it is part of the stacked wall, I have only room bounding and structural usage. You can see that all of others are grayed out. So for me, if I try to like distinguish this wall, let's say this one, and I will try to filter it, you can see that I cannot put any mark or comments here. So I am not able to filter only this wall in my schedule. So this is making this tool for me unusable. And I would need to go, hit the right click and go with the breakup, which will break this stacked wall into constituent walls. And now you can see that it is wall like any other. So I can use my mark comments and so on to be able to filter and use them. There is no tool to be like to restack this wall back together. It can only be like once it is broken up, it will be broken up. So if I go back now to be stacked, so it looks like this thing that you cannot schedule is and that you have limited usage of instance parameters is making this tool unusable for me, because in later stages of the projects when you need to do scheduling, you need to be able to schedule this. So for me, this tool is probably useful in the early stages of the design, but in the later stages, you should always like break it or just like model it separately. In the stacked walls, only base type of walls can be stacked together. So if I would try to stack on curtain wall here, I could not do this. So this stacked wall is trying to give you the possibility to create a composition of the wall, which will have different thickness and different definition in the vertical profile. And the last thing we will take a look at is inserts. Let's say that I would insert a door here, like this. And now you can see that it is inserted, but actually I have a gap here. So what can I do to change this is to pick a primary host. The same thing as we were doing in an earlier example. You can see that now the primary host for this door is this wall. And I would like to have my primary host this upper wall. So I would select the door, pick the primary host, and just select the upper part. And now you can see that it is cutting the way I want it.